All right, so the Ferrari F40 was really before the Acura NSX. Now, if we're talking about release dates and all that, the Ferrari F40 was a 1987 car. If you think about the Acura NSX, it's a 1991 and up car. But really, the Ferrari F40 has some really rich history as far as Ferrari goes. Now, the founder and creator of Ferrari, Enzo, was he was about 8 years old, and it was a rough time for Ferrari because the critics and the car reviewers felt that the Ferrari, the brand, and the cars itself was going the wrong direction. Instead of them being kind of a performance car, race car, or just a specialty car, they were kind of compromising to more luxury, more just overall population demand. And Ferrari just felt like, you know what, we need to make a car that just really conveys what I believe in, and that's the race heritage, the race spirit, just a raw, visceral car. And that's really where the birth of the Ferrari F40 came from. Now, as you know, the Acura NSX, there's a lot of similarities to F40. I want to point them out right away. Pop-up headlights. I know a lot of cars had pop-up headlights, but if you look at both cars, they kind of look the same. Another similar thing, you know, just the whole mid-engine aspect, the wings, kind of, you know, a little bit of the similarity as far as profile, but when you actually see the cars in person, they're nowhere near the same. Here's a couple fun facts about the F40 that you guys will like. The paint was so thin that you could actually see the carbon fiber, the weave from it when you walk up close to the Ferrari. Actually, that's one of the main things people look for when they're trying to buy a Ferrari F40. If you're trying to buy that $2 million car, you want to make sure it's never been repainted, which is really neat because that really rolls into how unique the F40 was. At the time, you think about the 80s, there wasn't a lot of use of composites like carbon fiber. Well, if you think about the Ferrari 40, carbon fiber everywhere, and they did it unapologetically. They put carbon fiber everywhere. Some of it was exposed. There was a little bit of paint, as we talked about, but that was their main goal, was weight reduction. Honda itself introduced a lot of first-timers, just like the F40 was introducing all these composites. The Acura NSX introduced the first aluminum chassis. So I know I just said chassis, but I decided to do some research on it and to see if chassis is different from body. And I just found out that it is. Apparently, body are the panels which cover the frame or chassis structures. So apparently, it is the first aluminum body. Cool. And that was, you know, they were breaking ground in that area. Now you got to think about it, about the designs of this era. They really are interconnected, because at the time that Ferrari was making this F40, McLaren was popping its head up and would become a big competitor for Ferrari. And if you think about one of the most famous McLarens, the McLaren F1, it was actually the designer and chief engineer actually took a lot of notes and inspirations from the Acura NSX, and they built their F1 to compete originally as a supercar against Ferrari itself. So it's really neat how it's all interconnected. Now, going back, how these cars will never be the same, even though they might look similar in a quick picture, is because the F40 is, in my opinion, is wide. Its presence, it's big. When you open up that rear hatch area or rear lid, whatever you want to call it, the tires on it are monstrous, guys. We're talking about, I think you could fit 3 of the NSX tires in just one of the rear tires as far as width goes. It is insane. Not only that, you know, even though the Ferrari F40 did come with less than 3-liter engine compared to the Acura NSX, it was force inducted. It had a twin turbo setup, and it was a little under 500 horsepower, where the Acura NSX was, of course, naturally aspirated. The Ferrari F40 came with a 5-speed transmission, and the Acura NSX came with 2 types of speeds of transmission, a 5-speed and a 6-speed, depending on the year. The transmission, a huge difference. The transmission was a dog transmission and set up in the Ferrari F40, completely different from the Acura NSX. And the Ferrari F40, like, there's nothing, no sound deadening. The glass is actually Lexan glass. I think I said that right. So it's not real glass. It's like a plastic type of glass, Lexan glass or something like that. So their main goal was to make a just pure visceral car. Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't used the word race car. And that's because the Ferrari F40 doesn't really have a lot of history racing. So real quickly, I'm going to hit on the key points here. The factory never intended to race the F40, but it did have some appearances in IMSA, and it also had some appearances in a GT series called JGTC. Otherwise, it was just raced by privateers, and but no major racing history after that. The Honda NSX made some appearances in the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the early 90s, and it also competed in the Super GT. If you guys haven't seen, we also made a video talking about the Le Mans. We read one of the NSX press magazines and translated it from Japanese to English if you guys want to see it. But yeah, that consists of NSX's racing history. I'm sure they've done some amateur racing or some SCCA racing or some what you would call privateer racing, but that's about it. In my opinion, I think that's because the low production number, the high value. Originally, the F40 was supposed to be sold for, I think, 200,000 or 300,000, I believe. Here's an interesting note. In 1987, $399,150 would be worth $961,217 in 2021. So that was a very expensive car. And now in today's market, they're about $2 million. I'm not gonna lie, that's like one of my biggest dream cars. As you can tell, this is the closest I've gotten so far is this model thing. I wish I had a similar model size for the NSX, but this is all I got is my little Hot Wheel NSX here. If you guys wanna learn more about this Ferrari F40 model, it is a model by Porsche. There's like controversy about how you say the name. This is a really cool model. This company made a couple of models of the Porsches and Ferrari Testarossas and some other classic cars. But I really like model cars. I got a collection of them and I just like to show them. But I'm also always trying to learn more about different brands and companies. So if you guys have any recommendations and stuff like that, as far as, what to look for, let me know in the comments. And so I could look out there and see if I could add something to my collection. So guys, hope you learned something. If you have any fun facts about the F40 or the NSX as far as how they're connected or how you think they're similar, put them down in the comments. If you just want to get mad at me, put that in the comments as well, and I will delete your comment right away. All right, guys, you have fun, you take care. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscription button, eat a Hot Pocket, and thank you for watching.